Alara wandered through the narrow aisles of the quaint antique shop, drawn in by its enchanting aura. Dust motes danced in the dim light, and the musty scent of aged wood and forgotten stories enveloped her. As her fingers brushed against the spines of time-worn volumes, one distinct journal caught her eye. Its leather cover was cracked and faded, as if whispering secrets of the past. Curiosity ignited. She carefully opened it to reveal elegant scripts and delicate sketches of a world long gone. With each page she turned, the words pulled her deeper into the life of Alaric, a passionate Victorian poet whose heart once knew love and loss. A shiver raced down her spine as the air shifted, growing colder, and with it, an inexplicable connection unfurled between them. In that moment, the bustling outside world faded away, leaving only the lingering echoes of a forgotten spirit stirring to life within the fog-laden streets of London. Alara stepped onto the rain-slicked streets, the late afternoon sky cloaked in clouds that promised more downpours. As she walked home, the iconic London fog began to roll in, softening the sharp edges of the world around her. It enveloped her like a whisper, blurring the vibrant colors of the city into a muted palette of grays and blues. With each breath, she felt the air grow thicker and colder, the atmosphere pulsing with an almost electric energy. Then, through the fog, she caught a fleeting glimpse of a shadowy figure, a man dressed in Victorian attire, gazing longingly towards the Thames. Compelled by both fear and an inexplicable pull, Alara moved closer, her heart racing as she felt a connection that transcended time. The figure beckoned to her, and she knew in that moment she was being drawn into a world that had long been forgotten, an invitation to explore the mysteries, weaving their lives together. Alara found herself drifting into an otherworldly slumber, the lines between her reality and Alaric's life blurring with each passing night. In her dreams, she wandered through moonlit gardens and shadowy salons of a bygone era, where the scent of ink and parchment filled the air. Vivid images of Alaric emerged, a passionate poet, fierce and sensitive, wrestling with his inner demons. They spoke as if they were old friends, sharing their deepest fears and desires amidst soft whispers and kindred sighs. Night after night, the distance between them dissipated, their connection deepening as they explored the intricacies of creativity and the melancholy of unfulfilled aspirations. The more she engaged with his spirit, the more she felt an inexplicable pull toward him, awakening emotions she'd long buried. Unbeknownst to her, every heartfelt conversation, every stitch of their shared longing, was drawing Alaric's spirit closer to the surface, weaving their souls into a fragile tapestry of longing and inspiration. As Alara delves deeper into the pages of Alaric's journal, she feels the weight of his emotions pour over her, enveloping her in a web of longing and heartache. The story of his tragic love for Leela unfolds like a haunting melody, each word resonating with her own experiences of desire and loss. She discovers vivid accounts of their stolen moments amid the vibrant art scenes of Victorian London, filled with passion but shadowed by ominous hints of Leela's mysterious disappearance. The parallels between their lives become strikingly clear, sparking a deep internal conflict within Alara. Inspired yet troubled, she begins to see her own emotions reflected in Alaric's words, grappling with her need for true connection alongside the fear of vulnerability it incurs. The whispers of Alaric and Leela echo in her mind, steering her toward a choice, whether to embrace the shadows or break free into the light of her own existence. Elara's fingers trembled slightly as she traced the faded ink of Alaric's journal, her heart racing with anticipation. Following a series of cryptic clues, she found herself standing before what was once a grand art gallery. The crumbling facade, entwined with ivy, whispered secrets of the past. As she stepped inside, the air thickened with history, sending a shiver down her spine. Dust motes danced in the dim light as her eyes adjusted, revealing haunting portraits that seemed to gaze back at her, their expressive eyes echoing Alaric and Leela's unfulfilled dreams. In the corner, a hidden room beckoned, its door ajar, promising more revelations. Elara entered cautiously, her breath catching at the sight of unfinished paintings, each canvas a testament to lost moments and emotions. It felt as though time stood still, and within these walls she could hear the echoes of Alaric's laughter and Leela's sorrow blend into a symphony of inspiration, urging her to create and heal. Elara had become a vessel for Alaric's spirit, her brush dancing to the rhythm of emotions once buried in time. Each stroke connected her more deeply to the past, transforming her canvas into a vivid storytelling tapestry. In her small studio, cloaked in the warm glow of afternoon light filtering through dusty windows, she felt Alaric's presence guiding her, infusing her work with his long-lost passion. She painted not just with color, but with the essence of his unfulfilled dreams. Shadows of Leela's lingering sadness intertwined with her own narratives, giving birth to haunting portraits that echoed with sorrow and longing. As her friends noticed the depth of her transformation, concern flickered in their eyes, yet Elara remained captivated, teetering on the edge of obsession. Art had become her refuge, a realm where the boundaries of time blurred, and with every completed piece, she felt herself slipping further into the world Alaric had known. Elara stood in her studio, surrounded by the swirling chaos of paints and canvases, her heart racing with anticipation for the upcoming Festival of Light. She could feel Alaric's spirit beside her, a comforting presence guiding her hand as she concentrated on the masterpiece forming before her. Each stroke of the brush seemed imbued with his essence, bringing to life the vivid imagery of their shared journey, a tapestry of love, loss, and longing. The festival approached, promising a celebration of artistic expression that mirrored her own transformation. As the day drew near, Elara poured herself into her work, the vibrant energy of London resonating through her veins. Friends from the art community buzzed around her, their excitement infectious, yet her connection to Alaric felt deeper than ever, echoing through every color she applied. She knew that at the festival, his spirit would shine through her art, intertwining their worlds in a luminous embrace that transcended time. Elara stood in her studio, surrounded by canvases splattered with vibrant colors and unfinished pieces. Yet a shadow loomed over her creativity, as whispers of Alaric's past consumed her thoughts. She felt a rift growing between herself and her friends. Their concern transformed into frustration when they noticed her isolating habits and obsession with a spirit long gone. At a gathering, John, her closest confidant, finally confronted her, his voice thick with worry. "You're losing yourself in his story, Elara. What about your own life?" His words struck like a lightning bolt, illuminating shadows of doubt she'd tried to ignore. For the first time, doubt seeped into her resolve. Was she sacrificing her present for the echoes of a broken past? As she glanced at the chaotic blend of colors on her canvases, she realized it was time to confront not just her art, but the woman she wanted to become. As storm clouds gathered over London, Elara sought refuge in the warmth of her studio, her heart heavy with unanswered questions. The howling wind mirrored her turmoil, pushing her toward the journal where Alaric's soul lingered. In a forgotten corner, she unearthed a tattered letter, its ink faded but legible. With trembling hands, she unfolded it, eager for insights about Lila, the woman Alaric had loved and lost. The words painted a haunting narrative: betrayal, despair, and a tragic twist of fate that had led to Lila's disappearance. Ilara felt the weight of Alaric's sorrow, a reflection of her own fears about vulnerability and commitment. The storm outside intensified, paralleling the tempest within her as she recognized the intertwined destinies of their lives. Inspired yet terrified, she sighed, understanding that to truly connect with Alaric, she must confront her own emotional barriers, daring to embrace intimacy in her present. Ilara stood amidst her friends and fellow artists in the softly lit room, her heart pounding as she prepared for the séance. Candles flickered, casting shadows that danced along the walls, creating an atmosphere thick with anticipation. She felt the weight of their collective energy, an unseen thread binding them together in this moment of vulnerability and hope. As they formed a circle, hands clasped, she closed her eyes, calling out to Alaric, yearning for his presence. The air grew heavy, a hush enveloping them, and Ilara felt a familiar chill sweep through her, as if the fabric of time was shifting. Whispers filled the space, echoes of longing and love, and suddenly she could see him, a fleeting figure, gentle yet filled with sorrow. "Ilara," he murmured, his voice carrying the weight of centuries. "I've been waiting for you." The connection between them sparked, igniting a sequence of revelations that would forever alter the paths of both their lives. The air in the dimly lit room was thick with anticipation as Ilara sat among her friends, charged with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Candles flickered, casting dancing shadows that seemed to echo the spirits of the past. With trembling hands, she opened the séance, calling upon Alaric to reveal the truth that had eluded them both. As the atmosphere shifted, a chill swept through the gathering, and Alaric's spirit began to materialize. Ethereal and melancholic, his presence enveloped Ilara, and their shared sorrow pulsed between them. "I sought Lila, but fate betrayed us both," he confessed, his voice a whispered sigh. Tears streamed down Alara's face as she felt his pain resonate within her. In that moment she realized their grief was not a burden, but a bridge connecting their souls. Understanding blossomed between them, forging a bond stronger than time, as they began to heal the wounds left by love and loss. Ilara stood in the dim light of her studio, surrounded by the raw energy of her artwork. Each brushstroke on the canvas resonated with the emotions Alaric had poured into his unfinished pieces, and she felt a profound sense of responsibility to honor his legacy. As she mixed colors, the weight of sorrow transformed into vibrant hues of hope and healing. The lines between her identity and Alaric's began to blur, merging their stories into one powerful narrative. In a moment of clarity, Ilara reached for the unfinished work, the portrait of Lila, tangled in sadness. As she painted over the canvas, each stroke whispered a promise of redemption. The deeper Ilara delved into Alaric's emotions, the more she found herself liberated from the past's grip. With the final stroke, she felt an overwhelming peace wash over her. She was ready to embrace the future, transforming pain into a celebration of creativity and love. Ilara stood before the canvas, her heart pounding as she embraced this moment of unity with Alaric. The air shimmered with an unknown energy, intertwining their spirits in an ethereal dance of creation. With each stroke of her brush, she felt Alaric's presence guiding her, his essence infused in the colors that spilled onto the canvas. They painted together, a beautiful synergy of past and present, merging their artistic visions into one breathtaking piece that encapsulated their shared experiences of love and loss. As she added the final touch, a luminescent star illuminating the night sky, Alaric's form began to waver. She sensed the bittersweet farewell in the air, a quiet understanding passing between them. In that moment she found peace, realizing that this collaboration was not an end, but a beginning, a way for their legacies to live on. As he faded, she felt his warmth, a reminder that creativity transcends time, forever echoing in her heart.